We will start now, Dr. Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. In collaboration with DHL, I would like to present Dr. Professor Michael Kobo from College of Health and Science, University of Sharjah, to give us an awareness session on early detection of prostate and testicular cancer. So, welcome, Dr. Michael.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jamila. Welcome, everybody. It's the first time I'm meeting all of you. I don't know, there's not enough time. I will tell you a story about me. It's a very long story, but to cut it short, I am an Australian made in Uganda, living in the desert of Arabia. So I don't know what I am, but I think I'm a world citizen. Yes, my interest, my passion is cancer. Everybody, I don't think there's anyone who has not had either a relative, a friend, or somebody they know who has had an encounter with cancer. And often we wonder, what could we have done? Now, for us men, the trouble is cancer is the unmentionables. Prostate cancer is the unmentionables. When men are in their own group, they may talk about it, but nobody wants to talk about it. Now, today I'm breaking the barriers, and I'm going to talk to you about that stuff. Let me go back. Okay, this is an initiative of the Friends of Cancer Patients, and we call it the Shanab. Have I pronounced it well? Shanab in brief means it is an initiative that is helping people with testicular and prostate cancer by the Friends of the Cancer Patients, it was launched in 2010, and it is using kashaf, which means detection in Arabic, and is an initiative, as I've mentioned, of the Friends of the Cancer Patients for early detection. The idea is to create awareness and help promote screening methods and prevention of the early detection of the screening methods and prevention, especially early detection of cancers. There are several programs currently run by the Friends of the Cancer Patients. Shanab is one of them. There is Pink Caravan, which I first got exposed to, and the children cancer and the skin cancer. So what is, generally, we all know what cancer is, but technically, what could we say cancer is? According to American Cancer Society, cancer is a group of disease characterized by uncontrolled growth and the spread of abnormal cells. If the spread is not controlled, there's no stopping. It often results into death. Shanab was took off in 2014, and the idea was to target men. All those, and the men, the cutoff was 15 years of age. And I will explain in a short while why the 15-year-olds are included. And yes, sometimes we think they are children. Shanab is that initiative which started in 2040, and it has two programs running: testicular cancer and prostate cancer. With testicular cancer, it is looking at all those between 15 and 35. That is the focus. With prostate cancer, it is all those 18 years and above. And Shanab, as you all know, means a mustache in Arabic. And being one of the latest initiatives that focuses on male cancers, it was launched in 2014 and targets male population in the community. It works with different stakeholders. For example, Emirates Urology Society, to create and promote awareness about male cancers and their detectable methods. Let's start with testicular cancer. The idea is learn to check yourself. It's simple and only takes a few minutes. Otherwise, speak to your doctor. In Swahili, which has a lot of Arabic things in it, we say maumivu yakizidi nione daktari. When you can't do much, when the pain persists, see a doctor. A man's chance of developing testicular cancer is low. It's about 1 in every 270. But the challenge is, do you want to be that one out of those 270? Or do you want to be among the 270? Testicular cancer usually strikes men between the ages of 15 and 35. And it occurs in the testicles. Some people call it testes, which are located inside the scrotum, a loose bag of skin that all male have. The testicles produce male sex hormones and sperm for reproduction. So you can imagine that it's not just sperm production, that you can forget about that. You can, adopt, you can do anything, but the sex hormones, and those hormones have play a very important role in our day-to-day lives and health. More than 90% of the cancers of the testicles start in cells known as germ cells. These are the cells that make sperm. So the cancer is highly treatable, the good thing. Even when cancer spreads beyond the testicle, it's still treatable. But why would you wait for treatable if you can detect early? Why would you want to go? Why would you go through all the challenges of that treatment when we can prevent it? And that is our conversation today. It's a tough conversation, but we shall have to talk about it. Let's look at numbers. It's one of the most common cancers of the genital system in men. Around 50,000 new cases and about 10,000 deaths occur annually around the world. When you look at the number of human beings in the planet, 50,000 new cases is nothing, or 10,000 deaths is nothing. Many people die of malaria, you know, all sorts of problems. But the challenge is when it is you are one of the 10,000, one of the 50,000. It's not necessary. Early detection of testicular cancer makes a positive difference in the treatment and outcomes of the disease. Because treatment is treatment. The question is, what will the outcome of that treatment be? We all want a positive outcome. We all want survival. We all want a good quality of life after treatment. In males, colorectal is the most common, representing about 15.5% of all the malignant cases in 2014. 5 most commonly diagnosed cancers among men, according to percentage, include colorectal. Prostate is number 2, leukemia, bronchitis and lung cancer, and urinary bladder cancer. This is the information we obtained from the World Testicular Cancer in the World, an epidemiological review. Now, there are some, cancer is unavoidable because we just don't know. Nobody has yet found out what the vaccination is against cancer. Nobody yet has discovered or has been able to prevent anybody in the planet from getting cancer. Now, our prevention is to detect when it is early. There are few cases, there are few types of cancers where they have been able to connect with specific risk factors. And those risk factors are the ones you can avoid, and then you'll be able to avoid catching the cancer. As you all know, smoking cigarettes is known to be the cause of a lot of cancer, especially lung cancer. But even other cancers, almost all the health problems we have is related to tobacco. And I sometimes feel like crying when I see my friends enjoying shisha. But that's another topic altogether. What I'm saying, we do not have yet something that we can put our finger and say, this, if we avoid it, we shall never get, say, testicular cancer. The best we have is to detect early. And the best doctor to detect is yourself. It sounds weird when you play around with yourself, but the more you do it, the more you begin to know exactly how your system is. Anything that changes you can easily detect, okay? But you can't begin checking your testicles tomorrow and be able to tell whether you've got something out of the ordinary. The more you check, the more you get to know how the system is. And then you can tell which one doesn't belong to your system. And you run to your doctor. So who is at risk? Who is at more danger? Who is likely to get the problem? By the way, I'm sorry, I didn't warn you that my accent is exotic. Some of you may find it challenging to pick it up. If you have a challenge, please do not keep quiet, raise it. There are many ways we can say the same thing. Who is at risk? Who is likely to get it? Who is in danger? You know, according to the Canadian Cancer Society, there is no single cause of testicular cancer. The males be at risk, especially those who are between the ages of 15 and 35. So when you're between 15 and 35, you know you're likely to get the problem. So you check. Also, we have those kids who have a delayed time in the drop of the testicles into the scrotum at birth. If it delays, then you know you, the parent, should note somewhere there was a delay in the drop of the testicles. And that delay puts your son at risk of testicular cancer. The other one, which is a general one, which happens in almost all cancers, is the family history. If someone in the family, your grandfather, your uncle, somebody within the family has had testicular cancer, you know that you should be vigilant to help that little boy learn how to check himself to make sure he does not develop testicular cancer. You do not discover later when it is such a big problem. Another group of those who are at risk are those people who had abnormal testicle development. We have some who have one testicle grows, the other one delays, all those sorts of things. Those are the people who are likely to face that problem. Again, such people should be vigilant. It's also, if somebody has a certain rare genetic condition, that could also be a problem. But that one is a little bit tricky because which one is a rare genetic condition? That is what your doctor will be able to detect. Because whether we like it or not, from birth to 15, we will always visit a doctor, one way or the other. You have a runny nose, you've run on, the little boy has run against the table, all those sorts of things. And also have that general checkup of the child, which includes language development, hearing capacity. Don't leave out testicular checkup because you never know. And that can be able to to be understood or to be discovered by the doctor that, yes, this kid also has a rare genetic condition that could also put that child or that boy when he turns 15 into, may push him into a red zone. Some men get the disease when none of these risk factors exist. So it's again, like all cancers, it's a complicated story. We only wish there was a magic bullet that we could use to tell which one is the best solution. But today I'm seated in front of you telling you that the best solution, the best that we have, is early detection. Early detection, a two-pronged process. As in the world of duality, you have a left hand and a right hand. Examine yourself, let that boy learn to examine himself, and also, whenever there is reason to go to visit a doctor, ask the doctor to check. You know? Any questions so far? Any observation? Any story somebody has and is happy to share? Let's go ahead. Silence means no news is good news. What are the symptoms? If you are teaching your little boy to examine himself, what are the symptoms? Often the first one is something hard, which is not even painful on the either side of the testicle. That should raise alarm bells in your head. That is what the little boy should learn, should know that it shouldn't be there. And if it's used to checking, and he finds it, you will see it's something different. It's something which was not there before. The other symptoms include a change in the size and the shape, even the tenderness. Although we say it's a painless lump, but the tenderness itself may be present. Or the feeling of the scrotum swelling or pain. The other one is a feeling of heaviness and dragging in the lower abdomen or the scrotum. If it feels heavy in the abdomen or the scrotum, then it has every reason to go for further investigation. What is being heavy in the lower abdomen? Probably we think we are bloated, we think we are constipated, but this is something which is not going away anytime soon. And it also sometimes spreads together, both the lower abdomen and the scrotum being heavy. There could be a dull ache, a little bit of pain, but it's not big pain. It's uncomfortable in the lower abdomen or the groin. That could be related to the heaviness and the dragging that you feel in your lower abdomen or the groin or the scrotum. Other symptoms include unusual backache that does not go away. A 15-year-old, a 20-year-old with the back pain, the backache, it should send alarm bells. Yes, there are many things young people do that could generate back pain. Maybe they've, with all these computers and phones and so on and so forth, people sit in one place and never move. That can also generate back pain. But when it is unusual and doesn't go away, it should ring alarm bells in our heads. For those, 15 up, up to 35, it's rare for them to lose weight unless they take a deliberate effort to lose weight. Say having excessive participation in sports. Or maybe they've got another problem, maybe a mental health challenge, which is which makes people don't want to go eat food, and but that issue of mental health is common among girls. But when the boy begins losing weight without an explanation, then you should begin worrying. There are some boys who are born naturally skinny, okay? But if somebody had weight and is growing, and then suddenly the weight begins dropping down, and you can't explain why, please run to the doctor. The other one is the soreness. You will feel a bit of pain or sudden unexplained growth of the breast of the boy. Okay? Especially around the breast muscle. It does not have to be on the nipple, it's just around the muscles, around the chest. That in itself means that the hormones are going out of control. Remember, these hormones are produced in the testicles. And if the testicle is getting affected, the cells are running out of work, out of control, then will be shown. Maybe become visible within the breast. Some males get this cancer without any of those symptoms. If you have any of the above, do not hesitate to contact your family physician or other medical professional and have it checked. And this comes back as a key responsibility to us as parents, because you have to teach this young man or little boy how to examine himself before he turns 15, so that by the time he turns 15, he's gotten into the habit of checking himself. Okay? Well, the other good thing is that there is now YouTube. There are all sorts of YouTubes. You can, if you feel embarrassed teaching him, you can send him and say, hey, can you type this on YouTube and find how to examine yourself for testicular cancer, because there are many clips that have been posted. Now, we've talked about the risks, those who are in danger. We've talked about the signs, and we've also touched on the intervention. And those interventions that we've touched are examination so that we can detect it early, and running to the doctor so we can detect it early. So the number one intervention the number one way you can arrest this cancer is to detect it early. If you detect it early, then you'll be able to have surgery that can have a lot of positive outcomes. Of course, in many cases, the doctor may not be confident that he has managed to get all the cells that are affected. We don't want another single cell to remain. And that's why often we end up with radiation to bombard those cells that may be there, and chemo, just in case those cells have traveled a little further than where we expected them to be. Most cases, the last resort, if this was discovered much later, when it had advanced, is to subject that little boy, that young man, into a high dose of chemo or stem cell transplant to solve testicular cancer. I'll repeat, early detection. It's the most important, the most effective. You want the best outcomes, self-examination. Once you detect it, you can then run to the doctors and have it dealt with. You will feel a soft, tender rope cord, something like a rope, at the back of each testicle. This is normal, okay? That soft, tender rope is a transport system for a lot of things that come out of the testicle. After you become familiar with how your testicle feels, you'll be able to detect changes. Try to check them at least once a month. Okay? Many men are not aware that testicular cancer is a common cancer among males, especially those who are aged between 15 and 35. We dream, we fall into that trance where they say cancer is an old man or old woman's disease. You turn 40, then cancers will begin coming in. But testicular cancer, which is one of the second highest cancer among men, is that one of the testicles, and it affects the 15-year-old. In many cases, in many countries, a 15-year-old is a child. A 16-year-old is a child. Some think, oh yes, the 18-year-old is mature enough to make good decisions. So it is our responsibility as parents to show them the way. Probably it is a different view, and a different cultural issue within the land of Arabia. I don't know. Forgive me. I may not know some of these things. But testicular cancer falls very much in our responsibility as parents. When detected and treated early, the cancer is one of the most curable forms of cancer. Okay. Here are the examples. Take a shower. This will warm and relax you. Okay? If you have a mirror in the bathroom, that's good. If you don't have, that's okay. Check for any swelling in the scrotum. Okay? You can use your fingers to run around to see there should be, if there should be any pain. And should there be pain when you're checking, run to your doctor. Hold each one in the palm of your hand so you can feel the size and the weight, and you'll get used to the weight of each of them. It can be common for one to be slightly larger than the other, but one may be hanging much, much lower than the other. Okay? Roll each one between your thumb and forefinger. It should feel smooth. If there is a problem, run to your doctor. If you don't know how to do this, if you cannot get a grasp how to examine yourself, run to your doctor. He can teach you how to examine yourself and be able to keep yourself safe. I've got three diagrams here, which summarizes what we were talking about. Cup one testicle at a time using both hands. The best performed. This is best performed or after a warm bath or a shower. And the second box, the second circle, shows you how to examine by rolling them between your fingers, the thumb and fingers. The more you do it, you can begin applying more pressure and just and feel what pressure is becomes the common pressure. Feel for lumps, change in size, or any irregularities. Okay, it's normal for one to be slightly larger than the other. But when one is hanging down and one is hanging up onto you, it doesn't want to get out, what doesn't want to come down, then you got to think twice and say, let me talk to the expert. Okay? So that was about testicular cancer. Any question, ladies and gentlemen? Let's talk.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mar, for such an informative session. Ladies and gentlemen, if anyone has a question, please go ahead.
Okay. Looks like it's we all see it as a straightforward business, and we know it is our responsibility to teach. And for some of us who are not yet beyond 35, I'm sure if you have not been doing it, please, this is the time. This is the time. All right. Let's talk about another one.
Yeah, sir, I think Mr. Khalifa, he has a question. So, Mr. Khalifa, you can type it on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and you can talk.
Hi, thank you very much. Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me.
Mr. Khalifa, we cannot hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
So, Doctor, thank you for the information and you sharing all this useful and knowledgeable things that some of us were not completely aware of. My question is, at times where a person feels like one of the testicles have got a bit of pain, but then when they blow, sort of takes the gas out of through their mouth, the pain eases. Does this relate to this kind of signs, or anything you can shed light on this?
At this point in time, at our level of knowledge and research, we haven't yet found evidence to that effect, or concrete evidence. But the most important thing in this is, if by doing that, the pain goes away, and by stopping doing that, there is pain, then try those other steps we've talked about. Try to examine the size, try to examine the tenderness, try to examine, especially after the hot shower, try to do all those sorts of things. If every time you examine and then you blow the air out and the pain goes away, but you're not comfortable, please, the only way to confirm or rule it out is to talk to the professional. Talk to your doctor, talk to your family physician, whoever he is.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor.
That's all right.
Asante.
Si sana.
Yes, anyone would like to ask any question? Dr. Michael is ready to answer.
All right. Keep reflecting on it. Let's talk about prostate cancer. I'm sure you guys might remember some questions on testicular cancer, and then you can ask them later again. And if you go home and you remember, you can always email. My email should be somewhere within. If you can't find it, just email the Friends of Cancer Patients and they'll give you my email. If you can, just run to your doctor and have it rolled out. Prostate cancer. According to statistics, according to numbers, 1 in every 7 men, 1 in every 7 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime. How many are we today how many are we in attendance today? If we are 7 and more, then we should remember that one of us is likely, there is a chance, and it's a very strong chance, that one of us will have prostate cancer. Now, what on earth is prostate cancer? Is something we want to talk about. Prostate cancer begins with cells in the prostate gland that are starting to grow out of control. The prostate is a special gland. It's a very special gland found only in males. Okay? That's all we have that nobody else has. So we got to protect that. The size of the prostate can change as a man grows. Early detection, before the cancer sneaks out of the gland and invade the neighboring territory, is extremely important. Early detection and effective treatment when the cancer is still localized can possibly save your life. Okay? That there is no other way. I can't sugarcoat. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't flavor it and put it in such a sweet way that it doesn't sound harsh. Sorry. I got to tell you as it is. Early detection. And then after that, effective treatment. When the cancer is not yet gone out of its territory, can possibly save your life. Here are the facts that every man who is over 40. It sounds like we are condemned to have cancer all the way around. From 15 to 35, we had testicular. Again, that is for men. And then after you're celebrating 35, that you survived, nothing happened, you hit 40. Long time ago, they used to say 40 is a center time of a midlife crisis. These days, people argue that midlife crisis is gone up to 50. But midlife crisis is not about your age, that your midlife is the average life expectancy. Midlife is a time when hormones produced within us begin to change, either slow down or increase in number. Okay? A friend of mine said, oh, even men suffer from menopause. It's very possible because the hormonal changes within us begin to change at that time. And when they change, that's when we change. Our behavior changes. And then we say, oh yes, that is midlife crisis. You think by driving a red sports car, that makes you cool. You know? You think by going to the gym and building up muscles at that age makes you feel cool. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? But there are some things we need to be aware of about our health. One most important is a prostate cancer. As we said, out of 7 people you meet in the streets, 1 is likely to get cancer. Okay? The prostate is that part of the male reproductive system. Its major function is to secrete a fluid to nourish a passage for the semen to travel. It is about the size of a walnut, but it can grow with age. Are walnuts common here? Do we know what the size of a walnut is?
Yes, yes, sir. Walnut is common here.
So we know, if it is, then we know that size of that. That is an average size of a prostate. Okay, but it can grow with age. As you grow older, it grows older. It's located just below the bladder, the urinary bladder, in front of the rectum. Okay, following the urethra, that canal, that passage of urine. Okay? Because of its location, that is why we will talk about the ways of examination by a specific doctor, for example. The symptoms, you may not have them at all. Often they are none, and often they are not recognized. But the major ones we must be aware of is urinary frequency. If you keep running to the bathroom so often, you should begin questioning yourself whether everything is okay. Because when this fellow gets in trouble, as you see from here, it blocks this tube. Okay, it gives pressure to where the urine comes out from. Now, if it blocks that tube, then you go to the bathroom. You just not able to pour the urine out. You'll see that it will be dripping, and because it's dripping, you end up just thinking you've had enough. You go back to sit down. Not long after that, again, you feel you need to go. And when you go back, you feel it's not only slowly coming out, but it's also painful. And in some people, there is blood in the urine or semen. Now, some of these are not easy to be detected by an ordinary eye, by you and me. You will need a doctor to, to look at it. Another big sign of this cancer is you lose that power. You impotence. Okay, your batteries go down. Your performance goes down. When it goes down, think about it and run to the doctors. It could be prostate cancer. And then there's lower back pain, which is also felt by the testicular cancer. But then there is also, there may be thigh pain on the thigh. You can't explain where the pain is coming from. You have no reason. You have not fallen. You have not hit yourself on the door or table or anything. There will be throbbing pain, and that should make you think twice. Run. Whatever you're doing, please put it aside and run to the doctor. The other sign is disease is it's been established in many countries that when you turn 40 and above or 50 and above, you go to the doctor every 2 years, every 2 years, depending on how countries view it, the health system views it. But you go every year. Like Australia, you have to visit a doctor for a general checkup. It's like you're taking your car for service, okay? You get checked out right from your head up to your toes. They will check your blood for cholesterol, for blood pressure, for cholesterol, for this, for that, for that. And also among those is what they call the PSA. And that PSA is what is checked for prostate cancer. If it is elevated, then they ask you to go back for further examination. Okay? And if they can detect early enough, you'll be lucky. No. But again, you got to look after yourself. And there's nobody who will tell you, it's not the doctor to tell you it is time for your checkup. It's you to remember once a year, just go and let them check you up for everything. The risk factors, those things that you exhibit, that are in life, that tend to increase, okay? Tend to increase is age, okay? As you grow older, the risk of cancer also goes up. But 25% of the diagnoses are made under 65. The rest are above. Race. In the US, the African Americans have a rate of incidence which is twice that of Caucasian men. Why? I don't know. Probably, for my case, I'm not African American. Maybe I don't have that risk. I don't know. Somebody will do the study and compare the African American race and the African race to see the rate of incidence of Caucasian of cancer, of prostate cancer. Family history. If you have it in the family, you have a 2 to 3 increase in the risk of prostate cancer. The diet that you eat, if it is high in saturated animal fat, this has been found to increase your chance of doubling the risk of developing cancer. What is a diet rich in animal fat? I don't know. I'm sure you all know. That's why we go for lean meat and so on and so forth. The effective interventions is early detection. That's intervention number 1. Intervention number 2, which is very effective, is early detection. I would like to add the third most important intervention, and that is early detection. So symptoms can be caused by other conditions, which are which can be detected in annual testing. The PSA, as I said, the prostate-specific antigen, a blood test will rule it out. If the PSA is there, then the next thing is a physical examination. And that's the most scary examination men ever face. Men don't care about any other examination, but physical examination for prostate cancer, many men don't want it. So if you don't want to go for physical exam, use the early, use other signs. But digital rectal examination is important. There's no choice, especially if the PSA has gone up. Both of those tests, prostate specific antigen and the digital rectal examination, are often able to detect the cancer better and sooner than any of the two alone. Okay. When do I need to start getting tested? The physical exam at 40 years and older. American Society says everyone should be done every year. PSA when you turn 50 and older. American Cancer Society guidelines. Family history of prostate cancer or being African American, you should start worrying about that when you turn 45 and as you get older. So as if we don't have enough to worry about and enough to do, there are things that are for us that we do for ourselves. Okay? How do you reduce the chances? Besides quitting smoking, because smoking is known to be associated with this, some of the most important things some of the most important things you should consider to do to help reduce your risk are weight loss. Get to a healthy weight and be there throughout your life. Okay? Get yourself involved in physical activity. Exercise on a regular basis. Nutrition, make your food healthy. We need lots of vegetables, plant-based foods. Avoid junk. Junk food is that food which is full of fat. Junk food is that food which is full of salt. Junk food is that food which is full of sugar. Avoid such foods. You know, it's likely to reduce your chance of getting that cancer. And this, by doing this, weight, physical activity, nutrition, and other, you are not only looking after your cancer, you'll also be looking after other issues that you would face in your life. Okay? A balanced diet rich in fruits and vegetables. Lower your intake of red meat. It doesn't mean don't eat red meat. Just lower it. There are different types of meat. There's red meat, there's white meat. Chicken, you know, is white meat. Processed processed food, processed foods, processed meat, my friend, avoid them. Eat plant-based food like soy, protein. But I'm not saying don't eat red meat. I'm not saying become vegetarian. I'm saying lower it. Let it not become what you eat every day. Watch the portion size. Okay? Don't you go like me. My favorite chicken is charcoal chicken, and then I normally go and I get I just have to fight hard not to eat the whole of it. Okay, so the only way to avoid that risk is to ask, give me a quarter of that chicken. Eat foods with the lycopene, and these are tomatoes, watermelon, red grapefruit, not red related red stuff, red grapefruits, and so on, which may be associated with a decreased risk of prostate cancer. Okay, I've already mentioned within the junk food, avoid high salt. You know, we like eating salts, chips, whether dry or cooked or deep fried. As a snack, avoid high sugar, avoid transgenic fats. Transgenic fats are those fats that are made in the factory to make your food in the shelf to last longer. The worst fat you can ever eat, you can never give yourself, or you can never give anybody, is a transgenic fat. You need high fiber. In summary, early detection, include it in your about 50 years of your annual checkup. Surgery for male cancer, radiation, chemo, and so on. Those are the likely, the summary of what you have to face. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yes, any questions for Dr. Michael? So, Dr. Michael, I think it's the end of our session for today. I would like to thank you so much for your precious time and information about prostate and testicular cancer. Inshallah, we'll meet you soon in another event with another participants. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Just coming out of another meeting. I should be there. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Jamila. So, goodbye.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.